Now, for more insight into the economic ties between China and Greece, we're joined by Constance Baroudos. She's Vice President of Public Policy think tank, Lexington Institute. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Now, Constance, a number of deals signed, as we heard there. So given what's happening in both economies, how significant is the timing of this visit?
It's very significant. As we know, Greece has been struggling with the debt crisis, suffering from a contracted economy with basically no growth and a very high unemployment rate. So Greece is in dire need of obtaining foreign investments. And right now, China is the largest foreign investor.
Now, we did see that more than $500 million is being invested by China's COSCO in this Piraeus port, which is a key entry point between China and Europe. So with that being said, what sort of opportunities do you think that opens up for both countries?
Several potential opportunities. The port of Piraeus is Greece's largest port. And as we know, China has now purchased the largest stake. So this benefits both countries because Greek entrepreneurs and businesses will have more access in China, and China will have more access to Greece and Europe. And China is also looking to develop a railway from the port of Piraeus throughout Europe so that logistically trade can take place. And there can be a lot of benefits with doing so.
And so with having these closer ties, what are some of the sectors do you think that could really see a big benefit?
The ones that first come up to mind for me is agriculture and tourism.
Sure.
Agriculture, Greeks have amazing food product. My particular favorites are Greek wine, Greek olive oil, and cheeses. And having the Greeks find a way to mass produce that and take advantage of these increased trade lines can really allow it to have more jobs and have the economy grow. Tourism, all you have to do is Google Greece and some of the most prettiest beaches and obviously historical sites. I'm actually going to Greece in a couple of weeks to get married on one of the most beautiful islands, Ikaria. And I know that Greeks also have a lot to benefit from China as well. So perhaps more improvement in direct flights between the two countries would be a good step forward to have that transpire.
And you mentioned some of the steps. What do you think could perhaps improve that relationship in terms of some of the trade that could really benefit?
I think it'll benefit the people because we need more jobs, we need a better economy, and China will also have closer developments to Europe and being able to have access to those markets.
And as we look overall at the Greek economy, obviously it's struggling for investment at the moment, but the Bank of Greece is saying that it actually expects the country to return to growth next year. What do you think of that assessment?
We would all hope for that to be so. I think Greece needs more foreign investment like China, perhaps from China and other countries to make that happen. Greeks need to increase their level of productivity. They have a lot of great things to offer, and I'm hoping this relationship with China and in the future other investors will teach them tricks of the trade to better help the economy and its people.
Now, you mentioned entrepreneurship, and we're seeing a lot of interest from private businesses. We're seeing China's role in Greece's privatization efforts. How do you think that's benefiting both sides? So Greece's government and economy has, unfortunately, in the past and now, the public sector has been overinflated and unsustainable. The political parties that have been in power since the 1970s, New Democracy and PASOK, did so to control the vote. So people are used to these large benefit welfare programs, and the private sector was underdeveloped. This is going to be some struggle for the Greeks to get used to. Don't get me wrong, a lot of Greeks do own their own businesses. A lot of the Greek diaspora leave Greece and have their own businesses. It's in their blood. But they are going to have to get used to the private sector mentality and having to not so much see it as we're giving up portions of our land, but being able to work with other countries to increase trade and learn from them to better improve the economy. I mean, it's 2016. Right, exactly.
We need to adapt to what's going on in the world.
Now, speaking of what's going on in the world, as we just quickly wrap here, Constance, it wasn't so long ago that people were talking about a potential Brexit from the EU, and Britain beat them to the punch unexpectedly. Just quickly, if you had to kind of frame the impact you think the Brexit might have on Greece's economy, how big of an impact do you think?
Well, the European Union as a whole are stronger economically together. Now, Britain being outside of the European Union, China has a lot of investments. There's a lot of
benefits there from its investments. It will be a medium-sized economy, but we need to focus on the European Union as a whole and what that has to offer there.
All right, we'll have to leave it there, but thank you so much for joining us,
Thank you.
Constance Baroudos from the Lexington Institute. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.